Hey guys, welcome back to Life After Neverland. My name is Corinne, and today we are talking about The Masked Dancer, one of my favorite new shows. And if you can even believe it, I'm gonna go as far as to say, I'm actually gonna go out on a limb and say I like The Masked Dancer more than I do The Masked Singer. I haven't even told Sean about this information. It's just getting better and better, and I love the people that are being revealed each week, and I don't feel that way with The Masked Singer. I don't, unfortunately. Maybe it's because I don't know the artist that, The Masked Singer has on their show, but I'm gonna give you a spoiler. But before I give you a spoiler, make sure you hit the subscribe button, you guys. And that is not being bossy. That's just a suggestion and a thank you in advance. As well as hitting the like button, you guys. It'll help out our channel. And we're trying to cover the shows that we really love. And it's really hard. The YouTube algorithm is like cray-cray. So those of you that do love our channel and you enjoy the things that we produce for you guys, please make sure to share it with your friends. Let them know about Life After Neverland. And if it's your first time here, my husband and I used to be Peter Pan and Wendy at Disney, among some other characters. I won't go into the whole long spiel. But you can check out our playlist. We have a lot to offer, and we literally just post things that we enjoy. Travel, fun little goofy things that we like to do together, and our favorite TV shows, as well as our animals and all of that good stuff. So basically it's a card catalog of our life, and that's the reason why we started it. Our intentions were just to start it for ourselves, just for good memories and opportunities to do things together, excuses to do things together and share it with the world. Because we've always recorded ourselves doing things, but it's almost like we were doing our own YouTube, but YouTube wasn't a thing when we started doing it. So we were like, let's just take our videos and post them on YouTube and see what happens. So yeah. Anyways, now here's the spoiler. So if you've been watching The Masked Dancer, I always try to talk about who was eliminated that day or that night first. So the first person that was, make sure you check out and come back later if you're not ready for this. Okay, who was eliminated, you guys? It was the exotic bird. What? No, this is the first time this season that I'm like, no, I could predict every single dancer that was eliminated, and I was like, okay, the zebra. Ready to take my notes. No, it was the exotic bird. It wasn't her time to go. Maybe next week. This week, the zebra should have gone home. But whatever. I'm going to get off my soapbox. But I was really excited to see that it definitely was Jordan Sparks. When I used to watch American Idol back in the day, when Paula and Randy Jackson and Simon were all a part of that whole thing, I really honestly loved Jordan Sparks. She was one of my favorite American Idols, along with Chris Daughtry, which was on The Masked Singer, which you need to make sure you check out The Masked Singer because it's super good. And Chris Daughtry was one of the entertainers on The Masked Singer. So I love to see my old American Idol people come back on. I'm still praying for Adam Lambert. But I like it when I manifest certain people like Brian McKnight and they end up being on this show. So I was excited. I saw my Jordan Sparks and I saw my Brian McKnight. So I'm feeling really good about this. Now some of the characters that we're going to talk about later, dancers that we're going to talk about later, I'm hoping will be the people that I think they are, which will then make this show so fun. And I thought I heard that this was just a one-time thing. So if things go really well and people really enjoy The Masked Dancer, I'm hoping that on the off season, The Masked Dancer will exist again because I'm really enjoying it, okay? But I wanted to read something to you that Jordan Sparks said, because a lot of the times when these entertainers, including the ones that are on The Masked Singer, when they get eliminated, they have things that they say that I'm just like, ugh, what a diva. Like the head was too heavy, the costume was too hot, ugh, all this stuff. But the remaining people that are a part of this show have been very, very positive. The Masked Dancer, look at all the things that they're doing. This is legit what it's like to work at Disney. I've said that before and I'm gonna say it again. But here's something that I loved that Jordan said. Aside from the fact that it was super cool for me to see her reconnect with Paula Abdul. And I loved Paula Abdul when I was growing up as a kid, so I'm excited to see Paula back. I just feel like Paula's really fresh right now, and she's Paula. She's the Paula that I know and love. And seeing her knowing for sure that it was Jordan Sparks and me thinking, I think this is Jordan Sparks, and it was exciting for me. Okay, so again, one of the reasons why I loved Jordan Sparks was I loved her as an entertainer, but I love who she is as a person. And I think she's a really amazing role model, you guys. So that's why I'm going to read this right now. If we have any younger viewers, I want you guys to listen to this because this is why Jordin Sparks is awesome. So she was excited that she was going to be a part of Fox, the Fox network, because they always do things very well. She had to go into it with an open mind. I'm just going to read what she said. So that's what I had to keep telling myself because dancing isn't my bread and butter, but I love to do it. I have one of those personalities where I guess I'm kind of a perfectionist in a way. I'm the type of person that will procrastinate because I think I can't do it right. Like if I can't do the best that will make me proud, I'm absolutely not going to do it. But also I have to give myself permission to do fun things that I love, even if I don't think that I'm going to do them well. It's about being able to push myself and to tackle new things without the fear. I think that was something that was fun about being behind the mask, was that there was a freedom in people not seeing my face. It was really fun to be able to have that. But at the same time, I thought to myself, why can't I have that much fun when I don't have a mask on? And so what a great message this show is delivering. And if you go a little bit further and when the person is eliminated, check and see what they have to say afterwards. It tells you a lot about who that person actually is. I have to love Jordin Sparks even more than I ever have before, if that's even possible. You know, what a great role model. None of us are perfect, and I can see that even with the Sloth. I was thinking, you know, when you're hiding behind that mask, and even my husband Sean, he has said the same thing. He never feels like he's a really good dancer. He also used to do Pluto at Disney aside from Peter Pan, so he was hidden behind a mask. He's always like, I'm not a good dancer, but when I would watch him dance, he was amazing. He had so much charisma. In fact, one of the reasons why I like the Sloth so much is because he actually reminds me of my husband in the way that he is so funny and comedic behind that mask. And here my husband is thinking that he's not that great of a dancer, put on the Pluto mask costume, and he's amazing. So here we have this mask that makes us feel like we can be ourselves because people can't see our face. That's sad. I hate that. That's so sad. Anyways, I hope you guys are watching The Masked Dancer. If this is your first time, like, what is The Masked Dancer? Check it out. It's so good. As well as The Masked Singer, which is coming back in March. Can't wait to cover that. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the remaining contestants that are absolutely my favorite, aside from the zebra. No offense to the zebra, you guys, but just like moving your feet crazy and like bobbling your head around a lot and like making a bunch of punches doesn't make you an amazing entertainer. I still stand strong that I wanted the exotic bird to stay, and I'm not even being partial. I'm being legit, okay? But anyways, we're talking about the tulip. Love the tulip so much. It's such a toss-up for me. The sloth, the tulip, and the cotton candy are all amazing. And each week I'm kind of like, ooh, which one do I like more? It's so hard to decide. Last week, and maybe even the week before, the sloth was my number one. This week, definitely the sloth is still my number one. However, the cotton candy is right up there, along with the tulip. I don't even know what to decide. Last week, I told you guys that I strayed away from the tulip being Maddie Ziegler and kind of going and jumping on the bandwagon of it being Mackenzie, her little sister, because there's so many clues that tie more to Mackenzie than they do Maddie. And my husband started watching the show. He loves The Masked Singer. That's why we started this, is because of his love for that show. And then The Masked Dancer came along, and that's my thing, dancing. So he wants to be a part of it. He just started watching it, and he said, hey, that's really weird. Did you notice that they showed a ticket that said ALDC, Abby Lee Dance Center? I was like, what? I missed that. How did I miss that? And then he said, did you remember when Mackenzie wanted to do tap and Abby wouldn't let her do it? And her very first performance was tap. My husband really pays attention. Then he said, you remember when they showed the pyramid? And I was like, are you watching this show, like, away from me? He's like, yeah, I totally am. So the pyramid, this is definitely Mackenzie. This is going to tell you right now this is Mackenzie, because if you watch Dance Moms, they have a pyramid. The dancer on the top of the pyramid is the best dancer of the week or the month. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've watched that show. But Mackenzie was always the little one, and she always kind of got the short end of the stick, which they also mentioned in these clue packages. Never good enough. Those are just a few clues for you guys to tie to Mackenzie Ziegler. So let me know if you have any other ideas besides Mackenzie, but hop online because I can promise you there are a lot more that connect with her. So let's move on to the Sloth. Hold on, you guys. I absolutely forgot to mention that when the Tulip was dancing, she was sitting at a vanity mirror doing her makeup. And if I remember correctly, those young girls, right before they went on stage on Abby Lee, Dance Mom's show, they used to sit in front of their little mirrors doing their makeup with their moms behind the scenes, being dramatic and all that good stuff. It's Mackenzie. Okay, now back to the Sloth. So you guys, I have felt like the Sloth is Maxim Sherskowski. I've told you every single week, if you've been watching me, that I cannot say his last name. It's like a twister. It's like, I'm not even kidding. So anyways, there you go. I messed it up for you. But I went online to kind of check some of my thoughts with some of the thoughts from other people online. I'm going to give this credit to Gold Derby, and this kind of confirms a few of the things that I've been talking about, but I want to read it to you because it's really, it's awesome. The Sloth says he is not new to the dance floor and will do a new dance style every week to get to the trophy. And that is what Smirkowski has to do on Dancing with the Stars. He took his various partners to the final of Dancing with the Stars 5 times, but he finally won in season 18, which is what I mentioned to you guys last week. But that number was given as a super clue for the Sloth, so remember that, with his partner, Olympic ice dancer Meryl Davis, and her initials were seen in a Clues video. Their trophy was also a mirror ball, and that was shown in 2 parts, mirror and ball, in the second Clues video. And the show's initials were referenced as well, with a shot to the dentist whitening tooth system. Do you remember that? But 4 of Maxim's other partners on Dancing with the Stars were referenced in 2 clues. Glee, okay, so they're talking about this. Glee toothpaste for Glee. Oh, that's right, because we talked about Heather Morris. I forgot about that. So we were talking about this. Heather Morris was one of his partners in season 24. DR was Denise Richards. That was also one of his partners in season 8. And a bug embedded in Amber for model Amber Rose, season 23. And red solo cup for the number 13 for soccer player Hope Solo. So I missed the Amber Rose reference, but I had the other one. So I mean, I'm really excited because this confirms my thought on it being Maxim. Now, something that I had to learn online because I'm not Maxim's biggest fan, although I do love Maxim as a dancer, do not get me wrong, but I had to do a little digging online. And you know how the judges keep saying that he has to be a Broadway dancer? Well, I found out that Maxim has been in a few Broadway shows. He starred in Burn the Floor in 2009 and Forever Tango in 2013. So there you have it. I'm not surprised. Don't you guys think that the Sloth has it all? Okay, so now we're going to talk about the zebra. I read an article that said, no one brings the heat quite like the zebra. No. The Sloth brings the heat. 1,000%. The zebra is just really animated, and you can't hate the zebra. The zebra does its very, very best, considering the fact that the zebra is not a dancer like the Sloth, the Tulip, and the Cotton Candy. Maybe the exotic bird didn't have as much charisma, maybe. I mean, that's the only thing that I can guess as to why the zebra stayed as opposed to the exotic bird, which I really think, personally, I would have kept the exotic bird. What do you guys think? Exotic bird, bye-bye. We're happy with that, or would you have preferred for the zebra to go home this week? Regardless, the exotic bird would have gone home next week if the zebra went home this week. Okay, but anyways, I don't think that the zebra brings that much heat. I don't think that the zebra is terrible. Sometimes I don't enjoy the zebra's performance at all. It just feels really awkward and weird. I do think it's Oscar De La Hoya. Everything is relating to boxing. They mentioned it in this episode. It's Oscar De La Hoya. We're gonna move on to the next. And that is one of my favorite, Takes the Cake. This performance was my favorite, and it was from the Cotton Candy. The Cotton Candy rocked my world this week. The Cotton Candy usually rocks my world, but sometimes the Tulip rocks my world, and the Sloth always rocks my world. But guess what, you guys? The Cotton Candy is the winner this week. The winner. The Cotton Candy made me so happy. I loved everything about her performance. She just made me smile. You know, the simple fact that she's truly very animated, she comes across as really, really sweet and adorable, which is aside from the point. But the point is, I love the fact that she was backstage She created an entire story. The story made sense, and it actually came through in her character. The Cotton Candy created an entire performance in a costume that made sense, and she was able to communicate what the story was without actually showing her face. You understand what I'm saying? So she did an amazing job. It was so cute. I loved the whole ballet scenario and how she was late for class, and then she like busted out on the stage with this grand jeté. She did a switch leap. She did this thing that is called a penché in dance, where you put your hands down by your feet and then your leg goes straight up like this. She totally did that. She also did this leg turn where she grabs her leg from the front and spins, which is amazing that she even did that with a head on her face. Seriously, because I've tried to teach my dancers to do that without that, and it's really hard to do. She rocked my world. Now, one of the things that has really thrown me in regards to the Cotton Candy is that Gabby Douglas is a gymnast, and they've been referencing ice like nobody's business. But guess what? With a little bit of digging, I found out that Gabby Douglas has a sister that is an ice skater. And the fact that she's an athlete, Miss Perfectionist, we saw a little sash that had the American colors, and then it said Miss Perfectionist. And then also too, her friend said that she likes to run several miles after she's already had practice, simply because she wants to make sure she feels comfortable in her mask. Now, I just gotta love that. They're really picking people that are good role models here on the show. And I do, on a side note, love the cast of judges. I'm not a big fan of Ashley Tisdale. I do like Ashley Tisdale, but like she's sitting there like, oh my God, it's a Kardashian. I'm so over the Kardashians. If they ever have a Kardashian on The Masked Singer or The Masked Dancer, you're gonna hear it from me. And it's not gonna be positive. I don't care. If they have Gabby Douglas on there, I love it. Jordan Sparks, love it. Some of the other entertainers that I've seen, Elizabeth Smart, I love it. And the list goes on and on. There's a few young women that I've seen on this show that I really love, that are amazing role models, and I wish the kids would start watching The Masked Singer and The Masked Dancer more often, because we need to see people that are like Gabby Douglas and Jordan Sparks. Just saying, okay? Our kids need those people. And Elizabeth Smart. So, Enzo, here are some things that I discovered online about Gabby Douglas, okay, that will confirm some of the things that we've already been talking about. Are you ready for this? He's ready for this. All right, so this is what I read online about Gabby. So, and this is something I didn't know, so I wanted to share this with you. And the article that I got this from was screenrants.com. So it says the Olympic gymnast has written 3 books about her experiences. One visual clue was a set of balancing scales and a Roman numeral. In the 2012 Olympics, Douglas won the all-around gold in all of her events was the balance beam. During her balance beam performance, she slipped and she fell. Cotton Candy mentioned that the Lyra fall wasn't her first time falling on national TV. You guys, this is Gabby Douglas. Isn't this exciting? Absolutely 100% Gabby Douglas. And if I'm wrong, that's okay too. But I'll be surprised no matter who it is, but I'm telling you, it's Gabby Douglas, okay? You heard it. You heard it probably a lot of different places, but you also heard it here. So with that being said, you guys, who do you think is going to make it to the finals? Obviously, I told you last week that I think it's going to be the Sloth, the Tulip, and the Cotton Candy. But who is going to take the win? Now, last week I was thinking it could be the Sloth, but this week I'm thinking it could possibly be the Cotton Candy. How fun is it to transition between the Masked Singer to the Masked Dancer? Because sometimes some of the people that we think are on the Masked Singer end up on the Masked Dancer. I would love to see some of them on the Masked Singer, like Jordan Sparks and Brian McKnight. I totally get Gabby Douglas being on The Masked Dancer. Do you think we'll get more of The Masked Dancer, or is this just a one-time thing? I feel like I read an article saying that it was only going to be a one-time thing. I really want it to come back again. It's not very much that I like a show. There's not very many shows that I really get on board with that I'm like, whoa, this is amazing. And I really do like it. It's really impressing me. It's so much fun. And I love having Paula Abdul, my high school role model, on a show like this. It's perfect for her, and she's amazing. Now, the last thing that I want to say is Sean and I were having a discussion about Craig Robinson. And I don't understand why they chose him as the host. I don't get it. Me personally, and now listen, it's not that I don't like Craig, because I do, but I feel like he's like a random person, in my opinion, for a show that's about dancing and entertaining. He does seem a little bit like a comedian, which I guess is the same as Nick on The Masked Singer, so maybe that's why they chose him. But I would have liked to have seen maybe Joey Fatone or Wayne Brady. I noticed that Wayne Brady has a new gig on Fox for a new game show that has to do with some dancing and talent entertainment. Why didn't they pick someone like that? I don't know. Let me know who you think would have been a better choice as a host for the show. I feel like it's misplaced. Wouldn't it have been more exciting if you could have grabbed Joey Fatone or put Wayne Brady on this show? And if any of you watch us when we have covered our Masked Singer, you know that I love Wayne Brady. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Please stay tuned. We'll be back again next week when we have the final 4, which I'm going to tell you right now, the Zebras, it's going to be his time to go home. And then we've got our final 3. So let me know in the comments down below, who do you think is going to win The Masked Dancer Season 1? Until then, you guys, I can't wait to see you next week. Thanks for watching. Make sure to share with your friends. We would be tremendously grateful, and we appreciate your time today. See you soon.